Welcome, wherever you may be, to the city of Melbourne here in Australia, where for almost 6 months, 12 teams have been fighting it out to see who would be the two that would battle it out for the Premiership Cup in the 1986 Grand Final. Those two teams are Hawthorn, in fact the Hawks making it their 4th successive Grand Final, and the very powerful Carlton team who walked straight into the Grand Final after successfully accounting for Hawthorn in the second semi-final. But as everyone in this 100,000 plus crowd will tell you, a Grand Final is a very special day. It's a different day, it's a different ball game. The atmosphere here is absolutely electric. The weather has been kind to us. Heavy showers yesterday here in Melbourne, but today at the moment we're experiencing a temperature of around 14 degrees, cool conditions, but absolutely ideal for football. Carlton have had to show their hand early because they played and won the Army Reserve Cup, the reserve competition. Playing in the reserves were 3 players, Burke, Silvani and also Shine. And that left 2 players, namely Shane Robertson and Warren McKenzie, to run out for the seniors Grand Final. I mentioned the atmosphere was electric here on the ground. I wonder what it looks like from above. Graham McNaney.
Well, Sandy, it's just the same up here. The estimated top temperature for today's Grand Final, 17 degrees Celsius, that's 65 degrees Fahrenheit. Currently 14 degrees Celsius, 58 degrees Fahrenheit, a 15-knot southeasterly breeze, light cloud cover, 2,500 feet, all in all great weather conditions. And the scene below us, of course, 100,000 people today packed into the Melbourne Cricket Ground for this year's Grand Final. This magnificent stadium, of course, scene of the 1956 Olympics, alive with colour and atmosphere, tension and above all excitement. This is truly one of the world's great sporting events. And in a year in Australia, which will see the America's Cup and the Australian Grand Prix, 2 international contests, the MCG today plays host to yet another great international event, the 1986 VFL Grand Final. Everything in readiness. Back down to Sandy Roberts.
Thank you, Graham. Yes, all is just about in readiness. I've talked of the atmosphere, so have you. And it's been happening here at the ground since early this morning. Let's take this report from Peter Donegan.
Thank you, Sandy, and good afternoon, everyone. Well, it doesn't matter whether it's inside or on the outskirts of this great stadium, the Melbourne Cricket Ground. On this very special day in Australian sport, there's a feeling in the air that really is hard to describe. It's a feeling of tension, of expectant hope for the supporters of these 2 champion teams, Carlton and Hawthorn, as they flock to the famous ground before the match of the year. But mixed amongst that apprehension is the atmosphere of a carnival. It seems almost everywhere you look, the blue and white and brown and gold combinations adorn most of the 100,000 people arriving for today's game. And if you happen to operate one of the countless souvenir stalls, that's very good news. But the souvenirs aren't the only bestsellers. Obviously, the prospect of watching the Grand Final makes one rather hungry. And of course, the big game just wouldn't be the same if there wasn't a drop of the bubbly on hand. They're all here today, the young, the not so young, and those in between. And all of them, for a day at least, will become either a fanatical Blues fan or display unshakable faith in the Hawks. Even the prospect of afternoon showers in Melbourne can't dampen the enthusiasm towards Australian football's greatest day. But no matter what, the only thing that really matters is the game, the Grand Final, the one that really counts.
Thank you, Peter. Well, in just a moment, this huge crowd at the MCG will come to life as one of Australia's greats joins us here at the ground, Olivia Newton-John, in just a moment.